I believe the Bahamas should be just as influential as Jamaica. And what I mean by that is I'm Bahamian Jamaican. And yes, I have a American accent because, I did live in the US. So I'm qualified to speak on it. I could see from both sides. I lived in the Bahamas and the US, so I could see from both sides. Jamaica is very influential on the world. Like I'm talking like past the Caribbean. And I feel like the Bahamas should be on that level because if not, we're like the top two best tourist destinations. But I noticed Jamaica, their influence goes way past tourism. I lived in the U.S. and anywhere you go in the U.S., no matter what state you in, what city you in, no matter where you at, you could always find a Jamaican restaurant. You could always find a Jamaican restaurant. You'll always find it, no matter what state you in. But you will be lucky. You will be lucky if you can find a Bahamian restaurant. You will be lucky. In the US, the only thing people know about Bahamas is it's a vacation destination. That's all they know. That's all they know. The culture doesn't transcend past the Bahamas. You go to Jamaica and you will never hear Bahamian music in Jamaica. You will never hear it. But you come here and that's all we listen to. You get what I'm saying? So the way of life is better in the Bahamas than Jamaica. The way of life is better, but their culture is so massive. It's like they're worldwide. They're more than just the Caribbean. They're worldwide. I always had this thought like, dang, like why we're not as big? Like what's holding us back from being as big as another Caribbean island like Jamaica? I'm only using Jamaica as an example because I see the influence they have when it comes to food, especially the music. I see the influence they have on the world. I'm talking anywhere you go in the world, everybody knows Jamaican food, Jamaican artists, everybody knows. You go to the US, not everybody knows Bahamian cuisines and Bahamian artists, and because we're just not known for that. We're just not known for that. You even come here, you go out, you might hear a little Bahamian music, during the daytime, on some cool stuff. But at night, when the party really starting, man, they go into the yard. They go into the yard, and I don't know. That was always something that was on my mind. Like why is the Bahamas not as influential? I'm not saying as big because we're just as big when it comes to tourism. We're just as big, but I'm talking I'm not tourism aside. Why are we not as influential? Why is we not as influential as Jamaica? I can't go to the U.S. and buy some conch salad? Why I can't buy some conch fritters? Why I can't get some gumbe? Why I can't go to the U.S. and get these things? But whatever is Jamaicans have that's original to them, I could go to the U.S. and find those things. I'm just trying to figure out why we're not as big. Why we don't have artists as worldwide as someone like. I'm not saying we don't have great artists. We have great artists, but we don't have artists as worldwide or well known as someone like, Popcorn and Vibes Cartel and Bob Marley, and the list goes on and on and on. I could name off people forever. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people in the U.S. that know a lot of Jamaican artists that know everything from curry to oxtail to ackee and saltfish. But you tell them about conch salad and crack conch and all this other peas and all that. They're like, what? I never had that. I never heard of that. They don't even pronounce conch right. They say conch or whatever the fuck they be saying. But yeah, so the reason I'm speaking on this because I see the perspective from both sides. Since I'm Bahamian and since I've lived in the US, I've seen the perspective from both sides. I've seen the influence the Bahamas has on the people in the US, and it's little to none. The most you'll get is the Bahamas. Oh, that's such a beautiful place to visit. I bet it's nice. Then you be like, I live where you vacation and blah blah blah. But after they leave the Bahamas, that's just where all the influence stopped. That's where everything just stopped. When they go back to the US and they, the next upcoming years, I feel like the Bahamas should be as big. I feel like the Bahamas should be as big as Jamaica or these other Caribbean islands. I'm not saying nothing wrong with them. They're beautiful places. I'm not saying nothing wrong with them. But I'm just saying, like, why does our influence just stop here? It's starting to stop here. It start in the Bahamas and it stop in the Bahamas. Why doesn't our influence travel to other islands? Why doesn't our influence travel to other countries? Like, why don't they play Bahamian music in Jamaica, but we play Jamaican music over here? I'm not saying I love Jamaican music. I'm half Jamaican. I'm just saying I can see the perspective. I can see what the people are doing. I can see the impact. I can see the power it has on people. I can see the impact. I can see it. And I know y'all see it too. But I'm saying we have a culture that should be more well known. I'm talking like outside of this. Like, I don't know. We need to start. I don't know. I'm just saying some random thoughts, but I don't know what we need to do. But I feel like we could be more than just a tourist destination. I feel like we could be more. I feel like we could be more. And I'm not saying we don't have stars. We do have stars. Yes, we have athletes. We have musicians. We have actors. We have everything. But I'm just saying, from what I've noticed, it's not as influential. When you go to the US and you tell people you're from the Bahamas, like, all they can think about is, I've heard it's a beautiful place, so and so, and I'm pretty sure they have good food. But other than that, they don't really know nothing. They don't really know nothing about the culture. I'm not saying that they have to know. No, they don't have to know. But I'm just saying, like, they don't know. But if it was Jamaica, even if they've never been, they'll tell you it's a good place. They'll tell you they like the music. They'll tell you, like, and mind you, they've never been there. They'll tell you they like the music. They tell you they like the food. They tell you they'll name off a list of food. They name off a list of artists. And they're like, dang, like, I feel like we could be just as influential. But even though the Bahamas is a better, I want to say, I want to say, like, it's better living conditions, better jobs, I want to say, I'm not, like I say, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say, but I notice a lot of Jamaicans come over here to live for better life. So I want to say, I don't mean no disrespect or nothing. But yeah, but like I said, Jamaica is a beautiful place. But I'm saying we could be just as influential. We could be just as big. We could be just as cultural. Like, imagine you being from the Bahamas. This will trip you out. Imagine you being from the Bahamas and you somewhere in New York or something. You just say you're just visiting. You somewhere in New York, and you just come across a Bahamian restaurant. You're like, what the? They got big. That'll trip you out, because it's like, dang, because we didn't even know that our food could travel so far across the world and people mess with it. Now, for those who watching, I'm not here to start no argument or nothing. If you got a brain, you could put two and two together and just see what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to start arguing. Both places are beautiful. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to say, why are we not just as big? That's all. Why are we not just as influential? Why is our food not as influential? Why is our music not as influential? And like I say, I lived in the Bahamas. I'm half Jamaican. I've had family that's Jamaican. I've lived in the U.S. I'm only saying these two countries because these are in my blood. These two countries are in my blood. So I'm saying, that's why I'm saying it. Now, when I go to the U.S., Jamaica is way more influential than the Bahamas. Jamaica is way more than just a destination a destination island. The Bahamas is only a destination island. But the Bahamas is such a big name. That's crazy about it. It's such a big name. Like when you hear that, you think of like tropical. It's such a big name. But it's like, why is this not? Why, as far as influence, why is Jamaica here and the Bahamas here? But I feel like we should be like equal. Why is it because we don't have any artist that's made it as big as Jamaican artists? I don't know, because music is very influential. Music runs the world. Music runs the world. Yes, we love Bahamian music over here, but that's because you Bahamian. You grow up with it, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. But you know when it's time to get that party, yeah, you know when it's time to get that party, so, man, they ain't playing that. They ain't playing that. They playing y'all music. Over here in the Bahamas, they playing y'all music. But hey, that's just food for thought. I don't know. Do with that information as you will. I don't know. Do with that information as you will. I'm just saying. I feel like we can be just as big. I love Jamaica. I love the Bahamas. I'm just saying. I'm not here to change the world. I'm just putting thoughts out into the air, and y'all can do with that as you please. But yeah. Peace. Love y'all. Thanks for rocking with me. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.